What happens when the most dominant, seemingly untouchable acting streak in modern television history is violently snapped in half by a voting bloc that has officially grown tired of the status quo? For the past 3 years, the entire entertainment industry operated under the collective assumption that if Jeremy Allen White put on a blue apron, a primetime Emmy Award would automatically find its way to his shelf. But on Wednesday morning, the Television Academy proved that absolute institutional security is a complete myth in the streaming era. When presenters Liza Colón-Zayas and Jeff Hiller stepped up to announce the 78th primetime Emmy nominations, the omission of White's name from the Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy category sent an immediate, physical shockwave through the room, marking the first time the double winner has been completely exiled from the ballot. This jaw-dropping snub was merely the opening salvo of a nomination morning that felt less like a standard corporate celebration and more like a chaotic, bottom-up rebellion. From a Canadian breakout star finding an ingenious backdoor route onto the guest ballot, to a historic three-peat opportunity for a superstar whose show didn't even make the best series cut, the last 72 hours have completely rewritten the rules of Hollywood validation, exposing deep, ideological fractures within the Television Academy. The cold, hard architecture of the 2026 ballot reveals a voting body that is aggressively recalibrating its values, rewarding hyperspecific creative execution over sheer algorithmic domination. At the top of the food chain, the old-school prestige structures held their ground with terrifying force. HBO Max's emergency medical drama, The Pit, secured a massive, field-leading 25 nominations, while the intergenerational comedy Hacks shattered all existing genre records by pulling in 24 nods, officially bypassing the historic comedy milestones previously held by The Bear. But look just beneath those staggering institutional numbers, and the narrative becomes intensely unpredictable. The breakout darling of the morning was undoubtedly Connor Storrie. For nearly 8 months, his sports drama-heated rivalry has been the absolute centerpiece of global pop culture obsession. Yet because the series was entirely financed and produced within the Canadian studio system, it was legally barred from entering the main Emmy races. Instead of letting that bureaucratic roadblock halt his momentum, Storrie's massive cultural gravity forced the Academy's hand through a completely different avenue, landing him a stunning Outstanding Guest Actor nomination for a standalone hosting gig on Saturday Night Live back in February, making him the singular host to crack the category this year over massive pop culture heavyweights like Sabrina Carpenter and Ariana Grande. Simultaneously, the drama categories delivered a masterclass in isolated star power versus structural decay, most clearly illustrated by the fate of HBO's Euphoria. The long-delayed final season of the teen drama was widely met with mixed critical reviews and an intensely divided public reception, ultimately causing the show to be completely locked out of the prestigious Outstanding Drama Series category. Yet, despite the narrative collapse of the project around her, Zendaya's individual performance as Rue Bennett proved to be entirely bulletproof. The 29-year-old icon secured a highly competitive slot for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series, entering an elite arena alongside newcomers like Chase Infinity for the Testaments and veterans like Carrie Coon and Kerry Russell. If Zendaya takes home the trophy this September, she will achieve an unprecedented 3-4-3 perfect sweep for her portrayal across 3 different eligibility cycles, establishing a legacy of individual performance value that completely transcends the objective quality or structural integrity of the show that birthed it. The immediate public reaction across digital entertainment circles has been an absolute gold rush of analysis, fury, and celebration, completely taking over cultural feeds and subreddits within minutes of the live stream's conclusion. The online discourse surrounding the comedy races has been particularly venomous. For years, the internet has engaged in an exhausting, ongoing debate over whether The Bear actually belongs in the comedy categories, with critics arguing that its intense, panic attack-inducing kitchen environments are fundamentally dramatic. The sudden, total omission of Jeremy Allen White has been interpreted by many cultural commentators as a silent, retaliatory strike by the comedy branch, a definitive statement that the category belongs to traditional, joke-driven formats like Hacks and Abbott Elementary, even as White's co-star Ao Edebiri successfully maintained her lead actress slot. Meanwhile, the heated rivalry fandom has completely mobilized online, turning Storrie's Saturday Night Live nomination into a massive, viral rallying cry, with fans openly declaring that they will actively riot if he and his co-star Hudson Williams are not secured as primary presenters for the September broadcast. When you step back from the immediate shock of who won and who lost, this entire nomination cycle exposes a profound truth about the death of the monoculture and the utter failure of mass-market streaming algorithms to secure institutional respect. For the past decade, shows like Stranger Things were heralded as the definitive blueprint for modern entertainment, commanding hundreds of millions of watch hours and dominating the global conversation during the holiday season. Yet, as the mega-hit series marched toward its highly publicized final bow, the Television Academy completely shut its main cast out of every single major acting and series category, relegating the show entirely to below-the-line technical fields. It proves that within the modern creative economy, sheer viewership metrics mean absolutely nothing to the industry elite if the work feels mass-produced or automated. The voters are consciously choosing to reward smaller, creatively hazardous, or deeply specific character studies over the commercial monoliths of the streaming boom, creating an environment where a niche, slow-burning hit like Industry can be snubbed, but a highly creative, bizarre genre experiment like Spider Noir can suddenly walk away with 11 prime nominations. This massive shakeup has fundamentally altered the reputational currency of several Hollywood elite, completely dismantling the idea that past victories guarantee future security. For Jeremy Allen White, this moment serves as a harsh, unedited reminder of how quickly the industry can turn on a golden boy when a narrative becomes oversaturated or critically scrutinized. The snub forces a massive reset for his career trajectory, stripping away the aura of inevitability that has surrounded his awards campaigns for 3 years. Conversely, for an actor like Connor Storrie, this guest nomination is an absolute institutional coronation. To break into the Television Academy's inner circle through a single night of live sketch comedy, entirely without a traditional corporate campaign budget behind him, establishes him as one of the most naturally charismatic and politically potent young actors of his generation. He has successfully converted raw, online fan fervor into legitimate peer-reviewed respect, changing his status from a temporary streaming heartthrob to a serious, long-term player in the prestige television marketplace. Ultimately, the chaotic fallout from the 2026 nominations leaves the entertainment landscape facing an incredibly tense, unresolved period of anticipation heading into the fall. As Mariska Hargitay prepares to host the main broadcast on September 14th, the storylines entering the arena are laced with unprecedented narrative weight. Will the comedy branch completely validate its category gatekeeping by handing the crown entirely to the record-breaking final run of Hacks? Or will the remaining fragments of the Bear stage a retaliatory sweep behind Ayo Edebiri? Can Zendaya defy the critical downfall of her own show to secure a historic, unblemished acting trilogy? Or will a breakout newcomer like Chase Infinity permanently disrupt the hierarchy? The true significance of this year's ballot isn't found in the names printed on the certificates, but in the definitive reality that the old, comfortable formulas of Hollywood awards seasons are officially dead, leaving artists and studios to realize that the only true path to survival in the modern era is to abandon the safety of the algorithm and embrace the absolute unpredictability of genuine, dangerous creative risk.